Marla Copal, and happy Father's Day. So, today I want to just share some thoughts about my dad. And he was a salesperson, he was a professional, and he had some things that have always stuck with me, supported me, and helped me in my sales profession and in my profession as a sales trainer, and now in my profession as an online marketing coach. And so, what I find fascinating is how much is transferable to how many of our skills are transferable to new platforms, to new approaches to business. But we don't always see it that way. We see change as rough, tough, and disruptive. And dad always seemed to take things in stride. Now, sometimes we saw his stress at home, but he took it in stride and he got his job done. He had a family of 5. My mom was working also. But here's what some of the fun things that I learned about my dad. He knew early on, and he built great relationships, whether he was in a small town or a big town. And he knew that people needed to know you, like you, and trust you before they do business with you. So he didn't do anything excessive, but he was one of those people who traveled a lot to do his job. And he would hit cities in Northern California like Modesto, Sacramento. Then he'd go over to Nevada to Reno, and then he'd hit Redding and Chico. And for anybody who knows California, that is one heck of a territory. He had all of Northern California as his territory. And who was he serving? He was serving small electronic businesses. Now, don't think about the electronics you've got today. We're talking about the 60s. What did he sell in the 60s? Well, they had cathodes and TV tubes for brands that don't even exist today, like Magnavox. And so I'm talking Greek to some of you. But that industry changed just as rapidly as the online marketing business is changing, and he adapted consistently. So the first thing that made dad memorable, people knew him, was he had a smile, he was upbeat, he didn't tell jokes, but he wanted to know about you. He would come home and tell us stories about people that hadn't taken a vacation for 3 years with their family. And he couldn't believe that because he liked to go camping a lot. And we went somewhere every other weekend if he could make it happen. So dad knew his people, and he knew how to engage them in a conversation and not make them feel bad, but make them feel good about their life. So that's one thing he did. And they liked him, and they had fun with him. And what was one of the things that he did all the time? Well, my dad loved to walk in and say, happy Monday, happy Tuesday, happy Wednesday. And he hit these people on a regular cycle, right? So it got to the point where these people who'd seen him for years wanted to beat him to the punch. But somehow he'd always make it in the door, and they're trying to say happy, and he's already got the whole phrase out, happy Wednesday. And he got tickled and loved to share those stories. And so they trusted him. They trusted him to go back in the back, take the inventory on all the tubes, the cathodes, the resistors, I've forgotten all the terms, but I know them, for all those analog systems that used to exist. And he'd come back out and he'd say, you're short of this, doesn't look like you're selling this. And he would help them not only balance their inventory and just make a sale, he'd help them look at the trends in their business and what was going on. So I watched him do that. I watched him take Dale Carnegie courses. I thought my dad knew it all, but he always wanted to better himself. So where does that fit with what I'm doing today? Well, I've had an experience in sales many times over and as a sales trainer, but I too had to make the transition to online marketing. And I was sort of dabbling in it before 2019. But my gosh, you couldn't dabble at anything that you used to do. You had to dive in last year and figure it out. And I did, because that's what I always watched my dad do. He dove in if he didn't know something. So let me just talk to you about the trends my dad went through, and he adapted to every one of them. So when he started in the electronics business, it was cathodes and tubes and all the little parts so that anybody could rebuild a television set. And then comes along Sony. So this for those of you who don't really understand electronics and where it's come. Think of the 70s, the early 70s, and dad selling Sony. Really the late 60s, my dad starts selling Sony. And guess what? People still out of World War II had an attitude about anything Japanese. So not only did dad go in to serve, he went in to educate, but he went in knowing there would be some hostility towards these products. That's a challenge that we kept. So how many of you are trying to do business online and you're telling yourself, I hate Facebook. Get over it. It's here. It's a tool. It's a tool. And then dad had to sell microwaves when they first came on the market. So we had to find people to demonstrate, train them, put them in the department stores. He's got really good at that, but that was how he was going to keep his volume up. So he adapted, and I've always adapted also. So where does this bring me to today? Because I don't want to go on forever, but I really appreciate what my dad taught me, because online marketing is the same. We still need to build how to have people know, like, and trust us. And so anytime anybody's saying, oh, I don't want to learn that, I really question what's going on. What's stopping you? Is it a self-worth issue? Is it a I look ugly issue? What is it? Because it's not serving you. And I'm one of those people who like to serve people to find their power. I want you to find who you are and share it with the world, because you're a gem that is hiding. So if you're ready to change something in your life, in your space, in your business, don't just say social media sucks. Say, what is it about it that I don't know? What is it about it that can make it become friendly to myself and to others? And how will I meet people? I'm now connected to people in Great Britain and Canada and Mexico that I never would have been connected with if I wasn't doing social media. And who knows what's next? So one of the powerful things about social media is there's a strategy to getting people to know, like, and trust you. It takes place of what my dad used to do, where he said, happy Monday, happy Tuesday, went in and did the inventory for everybody. You can do the same thing in Facebook and build a powerful relationship and maybe a future business partner, a future business ally, or a future customer. If you are really ready, I'm going to put my links in the bottom of this for you to schedule a 15-minute call to see if we're a fit. And I can tell you how we can do that for you. Or you can go out and subscribe to my Facebook channel and rewatch this anytime until you have the chutzpah to give me a call, and let's make it work. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.